Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, Magnetic Reversal News, Shinrin Yoku, and Yurt Life, bringing you a grand solar minimum update. Tuesday, February 13th, 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time, 2024. Take a look at this map. 544,000 lightning strikes in Melbourne in just 12 hours today, causing 6 down high voltage transmission lines and hundreds of thousands without power. Keep calm. It's boom time. Powerful nor'easter pelts the region with snow, making it New York City's snowiest day in 2 years. Schools were canceled as people walked through the falling snow in Central Park Tuesday, February 13th. In fact, a fast-moving nor'easter dumped snow on New York City and other major Northeast metropolitan areas Tuesday, knocking out power and disrupting travel, work, and school. Can you believe it? Take a look at the snowfall as of 6 a.m. this morning. Regions of northern New Jersey with over a foot of snow, and more was falling through the day. Power outages looking good. Only 66,000 without power in Pennsylvania, and just a smattering 17,000 without power in Massachusetts. Good news on the power front. What's that white stuff you say? Well, the first big snowfall in years for Texas, the nexus of the schmexus. Take a look at South Amarillo, Texas. Holy macaroni. Amarillo saw upwards of 6 inches on Sunday, according to the National Weather Service. In Lubbock, while residents of Plainview and Hale Center picked up 14 inches of the global warming goodness. And here's the forecast. Nor'easter to impact the mid-Atlantic and Northeast. Active weather across the Pacific Northwest Wednesday. A nor'easter will bring strong winds and heavy snowfall from the central Appalachians through southern New England today, which could damage trees, power lines, and disrupt travel. Coastal flooding is expected along portions of the East Coast. A storm will move into the Northwest Wednesday, bringing areas of heavy rainfall to the coastal ranges and heavy snow to the Cascades. Shut up, Al! Get in your hole! He said it doesn't snow anymore. Well, I can assure Al it does snow. I just got done plowing my neighbor's driveway. Let's take a look at the GFS model here. Total snowfall. This is the earlier run because I wanted to see how much more snow was going to fall up there in the Northeast. Considerable amounts through central Jersey, Long Island, as well as Connecticut and Rhode Island there. So let's move it through to the newer model so we can get the best data for the forecast here. Here is Tuesday through Wednesday's snowfall. You can see the system moving into the Pacific Northwest, dropping all the way down on the Sierra Spine through the Tahoe region, dumping up to 16 inches of snow by tomorrow night. Another system will move through the Central Plains there, bringing a significant amount to South Dakota, which has been lacking snow most of the season. So good news for South Dakota. Heavy totals for central Idaho. Heavy totals for western Montana, as another system heads to the east and should get there by the weekend, bringing more snow to the regions that just picked up the first snow in several years. So the snow pattern is looking amazing, specifically for the west through the end of February. Good news. We need those runoffs for that spring rafting season, don't we? 544,000 lightning strikes around Melbourne on Tuesday, the 13th of February, 2024. More than 500,000 lightning strikes were detected within 600 kilometers of Melbourne today. Some of this lightning ignited fires, while other severe thunderstorms produced damaging and destructive winds with wind gusts up to 130 kilometers per hour, according to the officials. So that's some startling numbers. 544,000 lightning strikes within 600 kilometers of Melbourne over just a 12-hour period Tuesday, 13th of February, 2024. And if you've been watching this channel, we told you lightning strikes would be increasing with a weakening magnetosphere, and we've been reporting on it increasing in significant ways over the last several years. And here's another example. Wind gusts as well, reaching 130 kilometers per hour, helping to make sense of what happened here, with 6 down high-voltage transmission lines and damage to sub-transmission and zone substations and so on. And that means, yeah, that's boom time. Take a look. All of the red X's, that's over 500,000 X's creating a red area over Melbourne there. Quite spectacular. And that leads to the power outages. Over 300,000 without power in Victoria. Days, if not weeks, maybe even months to fix some of the power outages, as almost 300,000 are without power. Take a look at those lines. That looks devastating. Let's take a look at some of the video footage from 9 News.
Thousands of Victorian...
Didn't like that at all. Okay, they apparently updated the update.
It was predicted to hit a catastrophic level, and that's exactly what happened. A combination of extreme heat, thunderstorms and high winds lashing parts of Victoria, causing mass destruction and sadly claiming a life. Mimi Becker joins us live from Mount Waverley. Mimi, hundreds of thousands of homes are still without power.
Sophie, 220,000 properties are still without power. At the height of this emergency, it was more than 500,000. We've just heard from the Premier and emergency services as they respond to this issue. Of course, the mass power outages were caused by this horrific storm that swept across the state yesterday. It was wild and lashed properties. Huge trees have been uprooted here in Mount Waverley. 2 gum trees have fallen on top of a property. One woman was inside at the time and now she's had to pack up and leave. But the damage is incredibly widespread across the state, with trees down on parked cars, as well as the winds that came through were around 130 kilometres an hour. It's expected it could take weeks to clean up this mess.
There is significant damage statewide caused by those storms, and much of it is localised damage, which is why your power may be out.
The first thing I did was run out the door and started screaming because I knew the neighbours' names. So I'm sitting there going, "Are you all right? Are you all right?"
All of a sudden the lightning hit the substation behind me and the power went out. The rain was phenomenal. Horizontal rain, hailstones, the noise, like a jet engine.
Emergency services and SES have been kept insanely busy. The SES has received more than 3,000 calls for help. 2,500 have been responding to jobs of trees down. Of course, that sad confirmation this morning as well, Sophie, that sadly 1 person has died in this extreme weather event. Sophie?
Awful news. Mimi Becker, thank you.
Awful news indeed. And so our hearts, our thoughts and prayers go out to those that are affected in the area of Victoria as they recover. It will take a while. Seismic update, no quakes of note. Big rumbler just happened moments ago in Chile at 6 magnitude at the surface. So they felt that. Really no other quakes of note worldwide. We can see a continued uptick in Pahala in the Hawaii area. Let's see if we can find it, first of all. Holy macaroni. Where are we at? Let's get Hawaii on the map. Yeah, most of this activity is in Pahala, south of the volcano, so no imminent eruption based on that seismicity. A little refresh here in Southern California. That seismic swarm has come to an end. Even if we go, let's go all day, 1 mag, and let's see. Yeah, so some seismicity happening still in the region, but aftershocks have pretty much come to an end in the Mexicali area. Good news for all those involved, including the nerves of the people that live there. If we come over to the Reykjanes Peninsula and take a look at the seismicity, we can see almost in the last 12 hours, no seismic events whatsoever. Let's take a look at all regions. We still have activity in large volcanic regions here, but nothing is imminent, which is good news. Over to space weather, a much quieter day on the sun on Tuesday as compared to yesterday. Only minor C flares have been detected, most of which centered around AR 3576 on the southwest quadrant. All regions showed some signs of decay during the past 24 hours. You can see many sunspots across the disk right there. And the KP has stayed below 4 all day, albeit we're waiting for geomagnetic storm, which never appeared. The first of the CMEs occurred about 24 hours ago. There you can see the rapid shift in the BZ and the phi angle, but really no shift in telemetry whatsoever. This was a minor one-off, and apparently it all missed Earth. So a little bit of a rise in plasma speed, and we still have 24 hours of that geomagnetic storm watch. So we could see maybe it was slower moving, but really nothing of significance. In fact, the aurora forecast is quite sad. And that's the data. Now, experts say 90% of the U.S. population could die if a pulse event hits the power grid. Bad news. We've been doing shows on this for years, and it is good to reiterate it for new viewers. When a large electromagnetic pulse, or EMP, or geomagnetic disturbance in the form of a large solar flare occurs, which according to Senator Ron Johnson from Wisconsin, there is 100% certainty that it will happen at some time in the future. As many as 9 of 10 people in the U.S. could die. And if you follow us on Twitter, that's because most people, including millennials, don't even know that you can pick fruit off of a tree and eat it. That's how sad the state of affairs is in the U.S., unfortunately. This is all due to the brainwashing and the CIA agenda, which has been completed in the last few years. So, if you want more information on this article will be linked below, and you can check over at Magnetic Reversal News for many podcasts on the topic. Now, a Stone Age wall was found at the bottom of the Baltic Sea, and it may be Europe's oldest megastructure. Holy macaroni. The wall, which was built using smaller rocks to connect large boulders together, may have been used for hunting, researchers said. A Stone Age wall was discovered beneath the waves of Germany's Baltic coast, may be the oldest known megastructure built by humans in Europe, according to researchers. The wall, which stretches for nearly a kilometer along the seafloor in the Bay of Mecklenburg, was spotted by accident when scientists operated a multi-beam sonar system from a research vessel on a student trip about 10 kilometers offshore. Closer inspection of the structure, named the Blinkewall, revealed about 1,400 smaller stones that appear to have been positioned to connect nearly 300 large boulders, many of which were too heavy for groups of humans to have moved. How do you like them apples? What's the dating of this structure? Well, it is quite ancient. If the wall was an ancient hunting lane, it was probably built more than 10,000 years ago and submerged with rising sea levels about 8,500 years ago during the Holocene Warm. So, more archaeological data showing that 10,000 years ago, humans were building walls. How do you like them apples? Revealed, here is the bad news. The Biden administration has diverted Veterans Affairs resources to the illegal immigrants that are now flooding our country at the rate of tens of millions annually. This is not sustainable. As we know, inflation is increasing, and most people can't afford to buy anything, including a home or have a family. What is going on? This is the destruction of our country before your very eyes. And that's a boom to knowledge. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Share this with like-minded people. Become a Patreon. Support the work we do and watch all of our podcasts in one place, commercial-free. And be safe. We love you. And also, if you're a Patreon, you actually get a notification. Can you even believe it? Shut up, Al. Get in your hole. And that is a boom. Crestone Seed Exchange. Oh, I mean, it's the San Luis Valley Seed Exchange. We'll see you there.